Right, sharpen up, everybody.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast lounge. And yes, Wayne, sharpen up, please.
Very
Uh,
good, very good.
we are at Bathurst for round 3 of Div 1 of the V8s. Back to Div 1 tonight. And at the ever popular Mount Panorama, best racetrack in the world. I don't think anybody in here is going to disagree. I'm joined by Corey and Doug, and Wayne's hanging around in the background as well. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good.
It's gonna rain.
Yeah, Hundy, awesome, loving it. Mount Panorama, whoop whoop, kick
Can
ass,
you
home stretch.
see? Can you see Mount Panorama though? That is the question. It
It's
is
gonna
foggy
rain.
out there. No chance of rain tonight, though. I don't think.
Oh,
The word from Cheryl was there was no chance of rain. Uh, but other than that, 23 turns of glory. Probably the most popular track in the circuit.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while. Sorry,
that
Doug.
doesn't say anything about rain on that description that's come up there. Looking like a steady 19 degrees outside, with a 54% chance of humidity and cloud. Lots of cloud, low cloud. Well, or is it high cloud because we're in the hills?
Well, it's
It's hard to
certainly
say.
certainly lower than the nearby Blue Mountains, and the cloud is still sitting down on us at the moment. So I'd call it low cloud. But anyway, certainly clouds either way.
Foliage.
Qualifying is just wrapping up now, and
It is.
we've got Blake Green, who looks like he's the last guy still on track, coming towards the end of the chase, or coming into the chase now towards the end of the lap.
And he's
And he's gone deep.
sticking with his number synonymous to him, number 28 and 28th position.
Good
Very well
script that.
spotted there, Doug. And after that off-track excursion at the chase, he comes back into the pits. So that means our grid is going to be locked in now. So we've got Rihan Lianagay returning to Supercars NZ for tonight. Nobody can resist Bathurst, can they? And he has, unsurprisingly, taken pole position tonight, nearly half a second clear of Leo Duncan there in second place.
That's yeah, awesome to see, and I don't think it was too long ago that he was racing here as part of the Scops entry. I think that was last night or the night before. So he's already been ticking around a fair number of laps in this car, and it'll be good to see how he gets on tonight. What have we got as far as racing format tonight there, Shane? Are we got back to heats, or are we just looking at one solid outing for the boys?
Well, I'm assuming since qualifying didn't cut off at the 15 minutes that it's not heats, that it will be one race, but you're probably able to more easily access that information than I am at the moment,
We
Doug.
need 4 laps. 24
So
laps.
hey,
We
I,
got 24 laps.
I was
And
just
I've
happy
worked
at
out.
throwing it straight back at Doug because he knows I can't just bring up that information while I'm streaming.
So yeah, 24 laps of glory around here, and they get 59 litres worth of fuel. So I reckon they're going to have to stop. They're at least going to have to stop once. Maybe they're going to need to get some to get home, depending on safety cars. I think if there's a safety car, I think they'll get home. But I think it's going to be tight. They're going to have to save, I reckon.
well, they'd burn roughly about 5 litres a lap, wouldn't they? Here.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Steve seems to think it was 4.75, which Lightfoot, I guess.
Okay, well if that's the mathematics at 59 litres with Steve's conservative foot of 4.75, that gives them 12 laps. So 12.42. So with a little bit of fuel saving, they could do just one pit stop.
There we go.
Oh, that's tricky, isn't it? A little bit of fuel saving. Where do you do that?
At the start, when everyone else is crashing on the top of the hill.
Following the safety car. Boom, boom, easy. Done.
Hey, and I'd just like to point out, thanks for joining us once again in the broadcasting lounge, Wayne. I have greatly missed the subtle sounds of ice clinking away in your glass while you're in here. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no dramas, no dramas. It's always good fun. Love it.
So tactics here in the chat from Jono's race engineer. He's telling everybody to run a certain PSI in their tyres, and you know they are too. Well, Jono, he's where's he starting on the grid?
85 psi.
Look at those safety truck
85.
barreling down Mount Panorama.
I'm disgusted. I've actually
I-
missed the bus here.
I didn't realise this was Tour de France. I didn't realise we were running bicycles tonight.
I mean, it might be 85 psi in those stadium trucks they're having a rip round at the moment, but
I wouldn't have thought so.
this is fantastic. Imagine if it was raining and you were trying to do that. Be like running on ice skates.
Somebody needs to tell them to try do the jump.
Oh, someone is running on ice skates. That was not Russell
That was
Pepperell.
No.
Matthew Pluck.
Lucky, I
Matthew
think.
Pluck. There we go.
Lucky.
I knew it was a KSR car. I just had to figure out which one.
Limping at home.
Indeed.
Oh, thought he was looking for the jump there for a second. Looks like he kind of thought about it and then thought, no, I haven't really got up enough speed, even though he had half a straight run at it. He's going to toe to the
And,
pits.
Good to see the debris model taking full effect as
What is
cars.
Aaron doing in the background? Looked like he was driving straight. He made it around though, actually.
Yeah.
Credit to him. It looked like he was driving straight to the wall, but he ended up drifting nicely around the apex.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's good to see those stadium trucks staying well off the racing line and not
Letting
spreading
everybody-
any of that shingle on the track.
Letting everybody complete their warm-up laps, yeah.
Oh, great pitch in by Aaron.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant.
Oh, whoever that was should have given him the old hickory dickory dock.
Well, before the race starts, we'll bring up the championship points for Div 1.
Oh, yes, very good.
Leo Duncan currently leading on 201 points. Stefan McCartan is 2 points behind on 199. Darren Lobb is a little bit further behind on 181. Matthew Pluck, 165. Russell Pepperell, 161. Daniel Hittershide, 156. Michael Gunstone, also 156. It's pretty tight through the top end of the top 10. Peter Vanderberg,
Yep.
Roger Forbert, Jason Cossey, Jared Ecclestone rounding out your top 10.
Fantastic. And what I'm really excited to see is that we've actually got a substantial number of drivers join this evening to get amongst it. I love having multitudes of drivers turn up because it makes the ability for any other driver than our normal fast drivers the chance to get into that ever elusive podium and
Wow.
keep that points gap looking a lot tighter around the place. So keep turning up with those big numbers, boys, and yeah, everyone's got a chance to be able to get inside that top 10, top 5 onto the final podium at the end of the season.
Quick look at the grid. We don't have a lot of time before they're going to go racing, so we'll run through quickly. Rian Lianagay on pole from Leo Duncan, Russell Pepperell, Darren Lobb, Michael Gunstone, Taylor Mitchell, Stephen McCartan, Matthew Pluck, Connor Brodie, Simon Hittershide, Daniel Hittershide, Roger Forbert, Brodie Scott, Jared Eccleston, Johnny Gibson, Dion DeGraff, and then back to Chris Uppersich, Jason Cossey, Peter Vanderberg, Michael Dow, Billy Rowley, Michael Jones, Nathan Cadman, Glenn Collinson, Eamon Young, Darren Lord, Tony Lynch, Blake Greenhill, and looks like Blake's going to round out the grid tonight, I think. Oh,
Yeah.
Leon might be coming off the back as well, and maybe Derek Lovegrove, Stephen Adams, and Scott McKenzie all not setting times and look like they might be coming off the back, but I think we are getting ready to go.
Engine revving. Lights are coming.
And we are away. Bit of wheel spin from Leo Duncan in second. Rian gets a clean getaway. little bit of jostling for position in the background. Stephen McCartan in the middle of all that, just behind Taylor Mitchell and Darren Lobb at the moment. He's got Michael Gunstone in the passion car slotting in as well, side by side between Taylor Mitchell and Darren Lobb on the run up Mountain Straight.
I was going to say, Stefan's in a good position there watching that battle.
Oh, and Taylor and Darren have both gone wide. Darren drops down to P7. Stephen McCartan improves to P5, taking advantage, but he's on the outside of Michael Gunstone at the cutting. Do they get around there? They have both got through. They're still side by side, and Stefan's got to hold the position, but that's allowed Taylor Mitchell to open up a little bit of a gap in front, but they're all settling down into single file now and checking up behind Michael Gunstone as well, as he got offline. I think still trying to slot into that position there, but they come over the mountain for the first time. It's Rehan already opening up a comfortable over a 1 second margin out the front, and then Leo Duncan and Russell Pepperell in a little bit of a battle for second and third at the moment.
Isn't it weird seeing Rehan in a Mustang too? I must bring that up. He's slipped to the better side.
He certainly slipped.
I agree with that. Yeah, it was interesting being the start of the season when Gen 3s were released and taking on board while Rehan wasn't here, but that he had gone for that car. Quite a few of the top-rated iRacing official V8 people opting for the Mustang, so they must have realised that the Mustang was well and truly excelling in the parity front, and that the Chev was the one not to jump at the moment. But we'll wait for iRacing to catch up with the real life and get the updates squared away, and we may see some people choose to come back to the light side.
Doubt it.
The right side.
13 Chevys in the field. And, it's a
there
big
we go.
field.
Yeah. Loving no safety car. This is really clean racing. That many cars on track, Mount Panorama, testosterone and acceleration and V8s is certainly a thing to try and handle, and these guys are doing really well.
It's the place
battles happening left, right, and centre.
Yeah, and just seeing this many cars on track, and g'day to Laz, who jumped in the comments and said the better side indeed. So Laz agrees with me and Wayno here. It's good to have some backup in the Ford corner, Wayne.
Yeah, no worries, Corey. Always got your back there, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
I can see I can see Laz's comments there, Shane, on the on the YouTube. So I'll make haste and go and remove those.
We do have some racing to talk about as well. A good save by Peter Vanderberg after contact at Griffiths Bend there.
Loving that livery there as well. Bit of a new spin on the Misfits side of entries here.
Yeah, it does look to be a new livery for Misfits. See if we can get a close-up look at it on the TV3 camera there.
Wow.
Good news.
Got something interesting happening on their roof top there as well. I can't quite. Looks maybe a flag of some description. Hard to.
Yeah,
did you load your car camera pack, Shane?
I apparently have not for these cars.
Segue to a replay.
Alright, well, you know what, I'm not a fan of these cameras on the stream, but I'm gonna go to the...
Oh. Sorry.
Sorry, I did just hear over the radio, there was somebody readdressing on the racing line there, and caused a bit of a backup.
Okay. Dion de Graaf jumping into the pits, I'd say pretty early on there as well, so...
Oh, that's controversial.
Controversy where?
What we were just talking about before, on top of the Misfits car.
Yes. The alternative flag?
Correct.
Ah, no, that's not controversial anyway. Move on.
Well, it's controversial because we voted to keep our current flag, did we not?
Yeah.
There's
Well,
many
did
variants of the
we?
flag out there.
I
Let's have a
can
flag
report
debate.
Dion DeGraaf coming through the pits, and he sat there for 11 seconds. So I'd say that's soon enough for grabbing a splash of fuel and some tyres. But yeah, an interesting strategy. Maybe looking at splitting into two. I'm not too sure. Is there any stipulation around the one race format? They've got to do dual stops. Anything?
No compulsory pit stops now, all up to what they want to do on fuel and tyres.
Shane, I'll also get you to click your race mode on the display modes there, mate, so we can get our laps showing there too. There we go.
I did do that as the race started, but apparently not everything loaded in. And Simon Heddershide sporting damage on the front of that Mustang.
See if I can see where that happened.
Alright guys, have a good call, loving it. You guys are doing awesome.
Cheers Wayne, always love having you around.
Good to see you, Wayne.
Leave you to it. Ladies, have fun.
This week's weekly sponsor is Extreme Auto Protection, and they're a Gold Coast-based company in the Southport area. Your one-stop shop for detailing, ceramic coatings, window tinting, vinyl wraps, PPF, paintless dent removal, and touch-ups. Protect, enhance, transform. Extreme Auto Protection. You can find them on Instagram, and that's Extreme Auto Protection. They're a weekly sponsor, and without our weekly sponsors, we wouldn't have any cool stuff to give away. But this week we have $50 to give away, and we're giving it away to somebody who buys some merch. So if you buy some Supercars NZ merch from the merch store, which has been posted on the community Facebook page, Wayne has put a post up there, and you send a picture of your purchased, receipt to the Supercars NZ Facebook page, and yeah, you can win $50. That'll essentially be the price of your merch back. How good, boys?
Very, very cool indeed. Love that. And I just wanted to quickly mention, Shane, I think you've got some info as well. I did find where Simon lost his front bumper, and it was going right across the top of the mountain, across Reed Park. He's caught the edge of the ripple strip and then put it into the left-hand side wall, and then managed to just keep it off from spinning right round. And there's data on that one not crashing, but you'll be able to find it under Simon where Connor or Daniel Hedderfeld or Brody Scott passed him for position 8 and 9 on that replay.
Alright, let's see what we got here then. So Simon coming up over the top. Oh, yeah, didn't even drop away on the dirt, just lost it on that curb.
And very lucky to get that car moving back forward in the right direction, because that would have been a shocker of a spot to try and hook reverse.
Yeah, it really would have. I'm assuming that's Nick posting under the MRX account there. No, very much not my first time in the booth.
Let's check in and see how Taylor's doing in third spot there, up 3 from where he started.
He is, and sitting in third, and he actually just put a pass on the previous lap, I think, on Russell Pepperell. Had a little bit of contact there, but got the pass done, and everybody was able to carry on, so I don't think we'll hear too much more from that.
Nice stuff. I suppose, it's one thing having Nick as your dad, but having him floating in the corner of your room while you're on the simulator with your finger heavenly pointed at the power switch saying, if you don't do better, the internet's gone.
Drive-through penalty for Connor Brody, car 32. So that was for an incident, I think, involving Dion DeGraaf or readdressing something's happened. I didn't get a reason.
That would probably count for Dion's early pit stop as well. Maybe he had some damage or some balance issues that he wasn't quite happy with, and come in and grab the fast repair in his pit stop then too. So hopefully he can push on and get some positions back there, Dion. Sitting down the grid order in 32nd spot at the moment.
Yeah, you only put in one qualifying lap too, Dion, and qualified sort of mid-pack, so decent job, and obviously a track he enjoys, but unfortunately he's towards the back, but it's a long race, anything can happen from here.
It's good to see that the battles here inside the top 10 are still well and true. It's looking at about position 8 or about 7 forward there. Pretty close and tight together.
Yeah, just while we are still looking at Taylor Mitchell, another note on something pretty cool that MRX, as Taylor's had a bit of a moment there. But yeah, something pretty cool that MRX are doing at the moment that all comes together this weekend.
Oh, yes.
So they've been working with Richard's Team Motorsport preparing their Camry NASCAR V8 powered NZV8 for the Super V8s support category at the Taupo V8 Supercars this weekend, and they've managed to secure none other than co-host of the Apex Hunters United podcast, Scott Pye, to come over and steer that thing in that support category. So that's very cool. I'm headed along to watch the event myself, and one of the things I'm most excited about is to see Scott Pye pedaling that Camry around the track there. Very cool that we get to see that.
I'd just like to bring it up here that I would really enjoy a Supercars race in the South Island, so I could go. Just saying.
Well, by all the rumours...
We may be in luck, Corey. Yeah, I'll let you carry on with that one, Shane, because you'll probably do a greater deal of delivering that one.
Yeah, there's certainly been plenty of talk in the background and stuff coming out from some pretty credible sources around Supercars journalism of late, and it sounds like it had been looking like Highlands Park was where they were looking at going, but Ruapuna has now emerged as the front runner, so probably pretty convenient to both you guys to be able to get along to that one.
Yeah, that's
Very
just up the
much
road, and there isn't too many of them left in New Zealand, but that is a club-owned circuit too, which is pretty cool.
Yep. And I think on all accounts it sounded like obviously with Tony Quinn being the a multitude of track owners over here in New Zealand, and the Cromwell circuit being one of those, Highlands. It sounded like local governing body, the council there, wasn't quite on board with being able to come forward to try and help make that happen. So he believes that Christchurch is in a better stand, that they've possibly got a little bit of extra money sitting in the kitty around the departure of the Sale GP, where they could have invested that money back into getting that to come back again, which now hasn't. And this is a man who's been involved in business and racetracks for a very long time, so I'd say that his word is probably pretty accurate to true. But we can only see. Rumours are that it wouldn't cost nearly as much as what they thought they would for the V8s to get to Ruapuna. Apparently just a cool $1 million, but being a Christchurch lad and all, and Corey can certainly support with his knowledge, $1 million budgets seem to always tend to blow out, but I'd say for a couple of $3, maybe $5 million for some renovations at that track, to see Supercars end up coming and touring over here every once in a while would certainly be a great boost to not only Christchurch's economy, but just to everyone in the South Island who would be able to come along and attend and see these great machines go and do their thing.
Yeah, it's good for Christchurch. Like one NZ Stadium going to be ready next year too, which will be pretty cool. Get some good music acts turning up there with the world-class stadium like that. But yeah, the upgrades to Ruapuna, they're talking about new garages and a new clubhouse, and yeah,
Yep.
it's definitely one of those tracks that needs a little bit of love.
And it's got great. It's already well built for great spectating all the way round from the speedway side on the opposite through to the viewing mounds along Pitt Straight. It's quite fantastic, and even for some of the local people at the men's prison, they can see the racetrack out the back end of their cells. So
Oh, can you actually see it?
you can.
Wow, excellent.
Won't let you know how I can vouch for that, but you can.
Yes. Yeah, he's been incarcerated, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep,
Yeah,
I've got my,
Doug's talking to us from that particular prison, and he's describing the view
Correct.
out his cell window right there.
That's it. That's yeah. KFC wasn't enough for me. I needed my sim.
So Darren Lobb on a little bit of a charge back through the field at the moment. Did we pick up what happened to Darren? He's down one spot and he just put a pass on Russell Pepperell, so he was down at least two. I'm not sure. We did catch what happened to Darren earlier on.
And Taylor's moved up into second spot as well. Might be worthwhile having a look there. Taylor on Leo Duncan and how he managed to make that one work.
He's coming up Mountain Straight in the draft. Pulls
Oh,
out to the
great
inside
move.
under brakes and gets it done. Plenty of respect shown by both guys, and they race on.
I wouldn't mind having a wee look at that from an onboard if you've got a good camera for that one, Shano. I reckon that was he timed that to perfection.
I'll see if I can cue that up for you now, Dougie.
Thank you, mate. And I hate to say it, but I think I just heard someone's motor blow in the background as well.
Yeah, Jared Ecclestone has just requested a tow. He's been told to hold. Let's just see. Does it look like safety car may come out? I
Thanks
am
for that
seeing
replay.
the safety car.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, definitely needs
Thanks
a
for that
safety car
replay there
on that
too,
location.
mate. That was a good shot of Taylor on that pass on Leo Duncan, and was timed to perfection, as I said. So
Sure was, and yeah, with Jared being stuck right on the exit curb at Murray's Corner there, right on the racing line, that definitely calls for a safety car. If you guys taken the opportunity to dive to the pits already, Rehan should have that opportunity when he comes back around. He is currently our leader, so we'll see if he takes it. I think probably we should see everybody come into the pits.
Yep.
Under the safety car. We're 9 laps in, and they're long laps. Not sure whether they're in the window to get home or not, but certainly, well, I think if it was marginal for one stop, I don't think they will be anywhere near the although, only a few laps from halfway, so...
That's right, yeah.
I don't know, it could be interesting.
That's what I'm wondering is, are they enough to be able to take the fuel they need and save 3 laps worth of fuel to get them towards what would be that halfway mark to be able to run through till the end?
We could ask Laz, since Laz is watching. Is Rehan going to have enough to get home after this? Could you let us know? Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe old Les is trying to crunch numbers himself. He's like, I don't know.
Leo Duncan opting not to come to the pits, so he thinks it's too much to save. He thinks you're going to have to make another stop anyway, so he's going to stay out. The trouble is everybody's going to bunch up behind him, and when he does stop, everybody else is going to have a much shorter stop if they do have to still come in as well. So
yeah.
Me personally, I would have taken the opportunity to at least, me personally, I would have taken the opportunity to at least come in and get some fuel in, even if you do have to stop again to get home. At least it's just going to be a short stop.
because at the end of the day, with Rehan, obviously he did have what was a nearly 9-second gap, I believe, over who was Taylor Mitchell in second spot at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty near impossible to gain back over the course of the race moving forward, but it's a gimme when you're all stacked behind the safety car and you have the chance to be able to battle someone on the restart.
Taylor Mitchell aggressively trying to get those brand new rear tyres up to temperature and just held on to it. Interestingly as
Looks
well,
like
Scott McKenzie and Derek Lovegrove also choosing to stay out. I can be more on board with it for those guys rather than Leo Duncan because they were buried in the pack. It kind of makes sense to try something.
Yep. And we've seen it in real life. What's the likelihood, percentage-wise? I'd say probably quite high. Safety cars breeding safety cars. What's the likelihood of people faffing it under the restart?
Yeah, well, this is true, and it was a very good, clean start first time around, but now we're 10 laps in. By the time we get the restart, we're going to be at least 11 laps in, so getting down very close to the halfway point in the race, and people will be starting to think about where they're positioned and wanting to get a move on if they think they need to be making up spots. So we could see a bit more aggression coming on the restart than what we saw on that initial start.
Yeah. The mountain does strange things. It can be ever so kind at times, but let's not forget it has very close concrete walls most of the way around it that are willing to bite anyone at any time. So it's always interesting watching people getting underway under restarts and looking at Taylor as he spun up his rears. He's taken on Jono's Race Engineering's 85 PSI method there. As we watch Leo Duncan now come into the pit. So I'm guessing he obviously thought that was maybe one lap too soon to be able to save enough moving forward on fuel. That can be my only assumption, is either that or maybe he wasn't aware that the safety car wasn't out there in front of him. Maybe he missed that call. I don't know. It is a bit of a funny one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Almost seems a little bit no man's land in strategy there, because he does have more fuel in the car, but he's going to be right at the back now, and it's going to be hard. Even if everybody else is saving and he's on it, it's going to be hard to make up positions. But if it puts him in a position where maybe he is able to save it and the rest aren't, he might be able to pick up some positions. But then field spread just through, everybody's going to spread out a little bit, and he might be able to make some progress through. But by the time we get to the end of this race, I don't know that, even if everybody has to take a slight splash at the end, I don't know how much he's actually going to be able to get back from that by the time the field's spread out.
Yeah, I mean, I can, looking at it as well, I mean, let's assume everyone bunches up a wee bit closer for the restart to take place within, 200ths, half a second between each other. He's still going to be sitting now down in 26th spot in the field, at least.
Or 30th. No, sorry, I'm looking at Eamon Young.
Yeah, no, 26th spot
26th,
there. I mean, he's still realistically going to be a second and a half away from, from the lead car at a minimum, at a very, very bare minimum.
Green this lap, boys. Green this lap.
Alright, so what we do have is Rian Lianage leading this race. He will have control of the restart. Taylor Mitchell just in behind, keen to get things going, and he'll be looking to get a good restart and see if he can get the jump on Rehan early on and get some track position, because we saw how quickly Rehan was able to run away at the start of this one. So Taylor will be keen to see if he can grab that track position and see if he can defend it from there towards the end of the race. Stephen McCartan sitting there on the podium will be receiving plenty of pressure from Darren Lobb in fourth. So just in that top four, plenty of talking points already.
Well, I mean, you only have to look back and remember who Corey said was, part of our top five, and they are very much in the throes of it there, and it's good to see that they are all sitting nose to tail, ready to give this one a red hot raw go once we get back underway. And looking like Rehan's doing a pretty good job of holding things steady. See if he does an early jump or if he waits to push it out to closer to the line.
Yeah, he's waiting. Goes just after the apex of the final corner, so while Taylor was at the apex, and just meant that Taylor had to delay getting on the throttle a little bit. Darren Lobb looking very close to Stefan on the restart. He'll look to tuck into the draft and see if he can get the run up Mountain Straight and maybe make a move into Griffiths Bend. Jason Cossey and Blake Greenhill just pitting on the restart, so their strategy might be get fuel now just shy of the halfway mark. They'd have to complete this lap to be at halfway, but they might be thinking that's their best bet of being able to save enough to get home without having to stop one more time. Peter Vanderberg was getting very close to Chris Upsich in towards turn 2 there. He just dropped off a little bit up towards the cutting, but continued to put the pressure on. Also getting some pressure from Michael Dell in behind, so has to focus on the mirrors a little bit as well as what's in front. But as Sean McNamara always says, eyes forward, as Peter just gives the wall a bit of a tap there, and now that's allowed Chris to just skip away a little bit and allows Michael to close right in on that bumper, and it will be getting ever harder to keep those eyes forward. Roger Forbert's got Simon Heddershire just behind him at the moment, picking up the draft down Conrod Straight.
Yeah, Simon looking a lot better there now with his front bumper well and truly back in place.
Yeah, his team did a great job of reattaching that very quickly in the pit stop. Oh, who was that in the background? Was it Leon Ware, I think?
Whoa.
Oh, and he's having some connection issues as well. He's had some blinking going on, so some sort of drama, technical drama going on there for Leon.
And he has scuffed the left-hand side there. Front bumper peeled in towards the headlight a bit more there. It'd be interesting to see if his steering wheel is straight and true at the moment, or how the rest of his race is going to go.
Yeah, and I think he might have had his whole sim freeze up on him there, because he just shot our right, driver's left, coming out of the final corner and straight into the pit wall. And then as we picked him up at Howe Corner there, we saw him blinking and disappearing.
Sideways.
So
yeah,
that was something going on there, hardware or software related, that has ruined what was looking like, I think, a solid running position for him there, and dropped him to the back of the pack there.
Well, be good to see if he can recover a wee bit from that. Once again, it's not always the track or yourself or other drivers at fault, but hardware. It's pretty much like having a car fault on you.
Sure is.
Great to see. Great.
Yeah, so Connor Brodie and Michael Jones having a battle. Michael
Yeah.
sporting our weekly sponsor on the side of the car, Extreme Auto Protection.
Whew. And not done yet. Brodie getting a bit of wheel spin there, and Michael being able to get back alongside, straight across the front goes Connor there, and manages to make that pass solidify. Michael's in the draft there, and Stephen Adams alongside as well. Sorry, my bad. I'm meaning Stephen Adams and Dion DeGraaf alongside Michael Jones.
Yeah, I was trying to work out whose draft Michael Jones was in at that point. Unfortunately, yeah, after losing that position to Connor Brodie there, he just lost a bit of momentum and had the two Sunbats cars hot on his tail, and then ran wide at Griffith's Bend as well, and found the outside wall up there that allowed those two Sunbats cars to walk through. But yeah, Stephen Adams and Dion DeGraaf nose to tail at the moment.
Having a great bit of fun. Dion working the rear end of Stefan's car. If it wasn't for the fact they were teammates, you would certainly be keeping an eye on this one for who's going to walk away with the win. We just hope that neither of those cars end up taking a spill.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
right.
looking forward to next week. Thursday. Myself and Dougie, we are at Suzuka for the GTEs, Suzuka GP track. That should be a bit of fun. And next week for the V8s, we're heading to Mid-Ohio, so that should be a pretty good one too.
I do like the Mid-Ohio track.
Oh,
Yeah, the GTEs at Suzuka should be fun.
I told you, he's working that rear bumper hard.
He wanted the inside there, but Stefan was like, no, you want me, you're going the long way around. Well, he could have had the inside there, but he slotted back in, and then had a little bit of break. Like, oh, was there a touch there? Stefan ran wide.
I don't think there was any touch. It might have just been that he was aware that Michael Jones was there, and he just ran a little bit wide.
Oh,
that looked like a touch.
That also looks like a touch.
It does.
Let's see the cooling system in there.
Yeah. Any further inside of him, you would have thought he'd have a medical degree.
Oh! Good save, and they're going to go side by side at McPhillamy.
This is absolutely wild.
Yeah, you can't pass there.
How did no one end up in the fence? For how sideways Stefan was, and then to go side by side at McPhillamy, and both cars come out the other side of that. I can't believe that.
Do you reckon you can line up that the overtake there on Dion and Stefan and jump on Stefan and see if we can catch how much lock he had to apply with that slide coming up the hill?
Oh, that was pretty close to the lock stops, completely the other way.
That was very well done.
And now both these guys coming into the pits as well, so actually showing it as Dion's third pit stop, that's because he towed early, wasn't it? So
Yes.
these guys obviously not backing themselves to save the fuel after pinning under safety car and taking another stop. Actually showing as Dion's fourth stop now, so he must have had to, we saw him have to tow, or certainly come to the pits early. He must have been in a couple of times early on for damage, so safety car really brought him back into the race, didn't it? And interesting strategy from these guys to pit together, and they're going to see where that can put them. Is everybody else going to have to take a splash, or is everybody else thinking about saving? If they're saving, how far can they get? Oh!
Oh!
It's...
Oh no!
Oh! Well,
It's like
Stefan obviously had a bit too much fun over the top going sideways before and thought he'd give it another go. Unfortunately, on cold tyres, it didn't quite work out so well for him.
Certainly not stuck there, I don't think.
He's just waiting for a
Had-
gap in traffic, I think.
He's
I
got
think he's
clear.
requested for a tow,
Oh,
He's got some big damage there on the left side. So
and that will be safety car coming back out.
and
yeah,
Rehan's just gone past the pit entrance as well.
So
But
Aaron Goodrick in the safety truck coming out of pit lane now as well. So he will certainly be picking up Rehan.
So I'm not sure where the call would have came, but he would have heard the tow request before he got to pit entrance. So I think this is him thinking the safety car laps are just going to give him enough to be able to save
Yeah.
and get home. And it looks like
Yeah.
everybody else following suit as well, to be fair. It looks like the majority not pitting. So I think that's gonna come back to bite down the graph, and it's his own teammate that's brought out the safety car, although there are a few in front of Dion in the pits now. Connor Brody, Leon Weir, Jason Cossey in the pits. Chris Zapasich stays out, so that'll be a few spots for Dion, but well, still I think roughly where he was before he pitted, so maybe a couple of spots behind there, so maybe hasn't hurt him too much, but yeah, certainly looks like while he's taking that extra stop, the majority are thinking this is going to enable them to save enough to get home.
The only one that I'm wondering is, would anyone risk jumping in just to grab just some tyres?
A few cars have stopped. Connor Brody, Leon Weir, he's also come in, and there was somebody else. I've missed them down. So they have stopped, and Connor Brody, he was just a quick stop. So I think just needing a little bit more fuel.
Just covering fuel, yeah.
If I was already at or near the back, I would certainly be keen to strap on a fresh set of tyres. If you're not going to give up too much track position, you might as well
Yep.
take a gamble, get some fresh tyres on, and see how far you can get.
So short safety car period, green this lap. So they've cleared the track.
Wow.
Obviously, Stefan
Cool.
McCudden has been put back in the pits, and we're going to go green again.
Stefan Adams.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what did I say?
You said McCartan, he's still running in third spot. Don't worry
Yep.
about that, any Blackout OPR fans. Your boy is still there on the podium
I
At
was
the moment,
wondering if
moment.
there was anyone a lap down in the field that might have been able to get the lap back while the safety car was in place, but I'm guessing everyone's still pretty much in sync with moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it actually looks like everybody that is still running, although there is Glenn Collinson not on track. Aaron Goodrick's the pace truck. So yeah, it looks like everybody that's still running is actually on the lead lap.
Okay.
Oh, he's
What do you
gonna put it.
reckon from Rehan's restart strategy this time round? Same again, or once he's given the all clear to go, that he just guns it?
Well, it worked well for him, but Taylor's going to be aware of what he did last time. But how much is he actually able to do anything about it? If he's at the apex of the corner when Rehan goes, you can't just pin the throttle at that moment, can you? And it looks certainly
Same
very
sequence
similar.
again. Yep.
Although Taylor has been able to stick a little bit closer this time, but still Rehan able to gap him just enough to not be too much of a threat at the moment.
Yes. The one's probably to keep a bit more of a closer eye on is to see whether or not Darren Lobb can make an upset on Stephen McCartan to grab that last podium spot.
Yeah, Darren was certainly getting pretty close to Stefan into turn one, but Stefan's got a good exit and been able to see off the challenge up towards turn two, and he'll look to have a good... Oh! Taylor goes to the inside on Rehan and goes to the lead. Was there a mistake there? Oh, we've got
some crash
drama
data.
behind as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
Yeah, we've
back
got...
at
Oh, this will bring out another safety car.
That.
the track is blocked.
Oh,
Oh, there's a look at that. There's a
Oh.
car up in the air.
the track is jammed. The track is jammed. That is Billy Rowley, I think, up in the air.
Yeah. Or is that Connor? Connor Brody. It's Connor Brody.
Connor Brody,
He's
yeah.
up on
apologies.
two
Oh,
wheels actually.
well, it's cleared now. Have we had a call from race control about another safety car?
Yes,
Okay.
that safety car is out.
So it looks like it all started with Billy Rowley possibly. I'm just having a quick look back on my screen. I'll give you a heads up if that's the case. Oh, okay. Yep. So, yeah, that'd be a good one to go back and have a look at, and probably from maybe the chopper cam or something there, mate. If you've got data, Billy Rowley crash, time marker maybe 42:30 something.
Just after Roger Forbett crashed?
Mine's
one?
just before, but
Just before?
mine shows 42:36. I've got Billy, then Roger.
Okay, I think it is going to be this one then. So we can have a look at that.
Yeah. So he's in this battle here with the Misfits car,
Ooh.
gets turned down on, and then it's just a snowball effect. And look at how this goes here. Can keep watching Connor's car. He ends up on two wheels in the middle of this, stuck underneath the PSR car.
Because he's
Trying to-
accelerating.
I think he's desperately trying to hook reverse.
Yeah.
That's like that car park jam game that you get bashed with every time you click on Facebook. Which way do you
Oh,
swap the cars?
can we look at
to
something
cle- to
else?
clear the field. Look at
Spinning
this.
mine.
Look at it. So that's how that all happened.
Yeah, and we do also need to...
Have a look at Taylor's pass on Rehan, which happened around the same corner.
Yes. So this was it, into the cutting. And he's away back there, so I think we are going to see a mistake here from Rehan. Well, no,
He just snapped
Taylor's
wide,
just
Taylor.
he's just fired it up
optimised
there.
that, didn't he?
I don't even think there was a mistake there. Taylor's just fired it
No.
up there, and Rehan saw him coming, gave him the space, and credit to Taylor as well. He was able to make the apex and get around there cleanly. So maybe the only mistake from Rehan that he was maybe a little bit tentative on cold tyres there, and Taylor saw an opportunity.
Possibly. I wonder if there's another good shot of that pass from Stephen McCartan's vehicle, either off the nose or from inside that car.
Be going green this lap too, lads.
That's off. They're coming down the hill. We've got a half a minute.
So this is from the nose cam of Stephen
Oh,
McCarthy.
he was certainly wanting to size it up. There was a lot of early move there, and that was a very, very good move. So, what can Taylor do now with the restart in his control, knowing how Rehan has restarted the last two safety cars? Does Taylor do something different, or does he play the same game as Rehan and just go guns for glory and see what the final 4 laps will tell?
I would go early. I would try and catch Rehan napping in the chase.
Catch Rehan napping.
I,
Do you think the kid has
I,
top
I
naps?
heard it as it came out of my mouth, but that's going to be his best option, is to go in the chase and...
He's probably currently one-handed solving a Sudoku while doing a Rubik's Cube in the other hand, still whilst racing. Like, this kid
What's he
doesn't
steering with,
rest.
Douglas? What is he steering with?
His teeth.
Knees. His knees.
The grit.
I'd be gone, I'd be out of there now, like... But Taylor's not me, obviously.
Sneeze of it.
I would leave it late. I would leave it even later than
Do you
Rehan.
roll out of it like Shane Van Gisbergen does and get that bump out of the corner?
Oh,
Ooh,
he just checked him up a little bit just after the apex, and then he went, so he had that little bit of a delay. Rehan, though, able to react so well and goes with him.
Taylor has just got to have his eyes on the game. That he's got
someone, Derek Lovegrove,
gain.
off into the gravel, turn 1. He's rejoined now.
Yeah, back on and off in the same sequence. And
Well, that
Stephen
top 3 is
McCartan
even
here
more
as
bumped up.
well. It is.
Is Rehan brave enough to try what Taylor did to him on the previous restart? I think Taylor just half covered that, didn't he? And the gap that he did leave was probably just a little bit too tight for Rehan to risk that on cold tyres, at least.
But Rehan did have a very commanding lead on the race at the beginning. Let's not forget that. So he does have pace around the track. So he'd probably just bide his time and see if Taylor can make a mistake, or he'll be able to work himself into his rhythm of racing and pick up the spots where Taylor is probably a little bit slower. So possibly a look in there on the next lap if he doesn't do it any sooner. Oh, that must have been such a squeezy there.
Yeah, that space certainly disappeared very quickly. But he's in the draft, and you're right, he does have that pace advantage. Taylor's move that we saw was sort of a case of, this is my chance to get track position, I'm going to go for it. Rehan can afford to take his time a bit more, but he's made the move at the chase. Not able to get it done, and almost getting pushed out a little bit, and Stefan's able to get the run. Darren's there as well. Stefan's going to go for the lead on the outside at Murray's corner. That opens the door for Rehan to get back through on Stefan, though, back into P2. They're still side by side, but Rehan's going to have the inside at Hell corner, and actually he just comes across.
Oh, who's loose? Oh, Taylor was a little bit deep in the brakes, I think. I could hear his tyres working under pressure coming into turn 1, and that's allowed Rehan to slot back in, and Stephen McCartan alongside Taylor Mitchell currently holding on to second spot. But what's going to happen into the braking point is Stefan's actually taken first here.
I think he's got a wee nudge. I think Taylor may have given him a wee nudge there, maybe.
And this moves Darren into second spot now, and Stephen McCartan now battling with Russell Pepperell.
And Taylor's dropped back to 5th spot.
He won't be happy about that after having a nice look at first spot there for a second. Oh, and a roughage off the wall. Taylor a bit out of sorts, now under pressure from Daniel Heddershaw.
And
that won't last for too long.
That's the risk when you race that hard, is you risk getting slowed up by the back, especially so quickly after a restart when you get that intensely involved in a battle. the risk is that you get swallowed up by the pack, and that's what's happened to Taylor. He's dropped back to P5, but I mean, credit to him, he was going for the win, but
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't worked out for him in the end, and he's got some work to do late in this race to get back to where we know he deserves to be, where he's got the pace to be. Currently, Darren Lobb's sitting P2. Rehan looks like he's able to settle things down in the lead now, and we know the pace he's got. We would expect him to be able to control it from here, although we do know that Darren Lobb is no slouch either.
Yes, we've certainly seen Darren do some fantastic racing back in the Gen 2 car, and certainly nothing to sneeze at since moving to Gen 3. There's a nice bit of an even spacing gap there between first, second and third there at the moment. No one closing and no one dropping. So
Some big movers through the field though, Dougie. Bring up Scott McKenzie. He's up 20 spots into P15.
wow.
Leon Ware up 18 spots into P13.
Okay.
So
Wow,
good
and
comeback drive from Mr. Ware.
And with them having also had that earlier bit of probably hardware issue that we saw as well is very good for Leon. So well done there, buddy. And credit to Scott McKenzie there, up 20 up into 15 is mega. On the flip side of the script there, people who haven't done so well tonight and have dropped down the field, just reiterating that Leo Duncan, he's down in 22nd spot, down 22nd, sorry, in 22nd, down 20. He qualified second for this race, and due to an error possibly during the safety car pit strategy, has not been able to regain many of those positions, and I think probably just a wee bit stuck amongst some drivers a wee bit out of kilter with what would be his normal lapping times, and has struggled to make amends moving forward here tonight. So a bit of a shame there, Leo. It's usually pretty good watching you navigate your way around a track in the Div 1 boys. So that this might be just a little piece of humble pie for the learnings to take away for next time, and to see what you can do in the next race next week.
Yeah, we called it that we didn't think he quite got the strategy right on that one, and he does appear to have just been a little bit held up in the midfield to even towards the back of the pack there, unfortunately. So yeah, he's oh, that was Nathan Cadman bouncing across the grass in front of Blake Greenhall there. So I think he probably had a rear lock to end up there.
And this is the battles that Leo has to overcome and try and work his way through.
Oops, just had a call through from race control. Oh, hang on. He said 99. Did he say 99? Has to readdress with car 20. So that's Tony Lynch and I think Michael Dow.
Michael Dell, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Dow, car 99. I'm assuming
he's got a readdress with Tony Lynch.
I'm assuming not related to the latest safety car. I feel like that would probably, if there was any fault found there, that would probably be more than just a redress on that one, considering how many people's races it affected. Rehan has been able to build a 1.8 second gap now out in front on the penultimate lap, so he is cruising out there at the moment, but still got a job to do out there for another lap and a bit.
Oh, okay, yeah, so I just had a look at Michael Dell's one, and he was just recovering from having his own wee bit of issues, and then he's got into the back of Tony Lynch's car. Not hard, but just got into the back of Tony Lynch's car coming down through the elbow, and that has just escorted Tony a little bit wide. So it was an easy report, and what should be an easy redress.
Daniel Heddershide and Michael Gunstone were going side by side through the chase there,
Whoa.
and it opened the door for
Oh.
Matthew Pluck to get involved and get past Michael, and he's sniffing around to see if he can find a way around Daniel as well.
Can I just take a mention? Sorry, take a quick moment to mention iRacing's fantastic update there on the debris with the kitty litter scattered across the track, and then getting roosted up by all those cars that went through it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was very, very cool to see. So shout out to iRacing. Thank you for being the service provider that we've chosen to run on and providing us with this great service and all the cool tracks and cars that come with it.
Oh, side by side, Brody Scott down the graph at the cutting. We've seen how badly that can go, but they both get through there nice and cleanly. And we have also seen how a clean move can be done there with Taylor throwing it up the inside just before it all went wrong and behind.
Yeah. I do like the livery on those fully floored vehicles as well. Look really well done, that livery, pieced together nicely. The kind of thing you could actually see running on the side of a proper racing team, I think.
Did we see what happened to car 99 and car 20? They're both towed. Something happened when they were redressing, maybe?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, actually,
dive into that.
quite possibly. Yeah, I've got Tony jumping to the pits and Michael following him.
We might have to see if we can pick that up post-race, because Rehan is coming around Murray's corner for the final time now, and he will come across the line to take the win. Lights to flag, but it wasn't quite as simple as that. He had a pretty epic fight there after the last safety car with Taylor Mitchell. Darren Lobb comes home to finish P2. Stephen McCartan gets himself on the podium in third. Russell Pepperell coming home in fourth. Taylor Mitchell, after fighting it out a bit too hard with Rehan, dropped back to P5 and wasn't able to move forward from there. Daniel Heddershide P6, Matthew Pluck P7, Michael Gunstone P8, Brody Scott P9, down to Graff rounding out the top 10. Simon Heddershide 11th, Leon Weir 12th, Connor Brody 13th, Peter Vanderberg 14th, Scott McKenzie 15th, Leo Duncan 16th, Eamon Young and Blake Greenhall have already towed back to the pits 17th and 18th. Chris Zapasich tows as I go to click on his name. He was 19th. Nathan Cadman 20th, Darren Lord 21st, Roger Forbett 22nd, Derek Lovegrove 23rd, Jono Gibson 24th, Michael Jones 25th, Jason Cossey 26th, Billy Rowley 27th, Tony Lynch 28th, Michael Dow 29th, and then it looks like Stephen Adams, Jared Eccleston, and Glenn Collinson all calling it early on that one.
So two things quite quickly. There's Billy Meowley finishing up his lap, and if you type in Dell there to bring up the crash data on him, you'll see the most oddest thing happen between those two cars of Michael Dell's and Tony Lynch's, and I'm still watching the replay now. It carries on for a good about minute and a half. Probably.
Oh, it's
Yes, and from here.
Oh.
And then it just gets worse.
Are they stuck together?
They are, and not for the sake of not trying to get themselves untied would be the word that I'd care to use.
We need some music with this.
Yeah. Okay, so literally I've probably just watched a minute and a half of replay before they finally decide to give up the ghost on, and that's something. There goes Billy Meowley. Or sorry, was that meow?
I'm not even sure if this has been. It's probably been picked up on the stream, but I don't know if you guys can hear it in Discord.
Wow, that's round 3 done. We look forward to next week where we'll be heading to Mid-Ohio on the V8s. But stick around for Thursday. Doug and myself will be bringing you all the coverage from Suzuka in Japan for the GTE series. That is hyping up and been a great racing so far this season from that mob.
I've heard I've heard a little birdie tell me something special about Suzuka.
It's gonna rain.
Oh, it's gonna rain apparently.
Hey Shane.
I mean,
It's gonna rain.
that'll be interesting considering we don't have wet tyres for the GTEs, but sure.
So it's clearly not going to rain, but it will be Suzuka, it will be the GTEs, and we will probably be excitedly shown how Stefan McCartan finds the fastest way around that track in the Ford GT. But if anyone else wants to come along and try and upset the matter, feel free to get in amongst it and go and cut some laps. Learn, think like Stefan.
Yeah, and I might find myself having a free moment over in Taupo to tune in on the Broadcasting Lounge YouTube channel and see how you guys go by yourselves.
And
sure
yeah, we'll have to see you join in the chat section like I did last Thursday.
Why don't we actually? You can go live in Discord on your phone somewhere in Taupo in the middle of the race. That would be quite fun. Live on the scenes from the Taupo weekend.
Oh, so you mean independently of the Thursday night stream, obviously, because they won't be racing on Thursday night.
No, but you can get out and about somewhere, go get us something cool to look at, and you know, like think outside the box.
We could Skype call you, and you could be our picture-in-picture with Shane.
The trouble is, I'm staying in Turangi, so by the time you guys go live at around 8:20, I'm probably going to be back at the Airbnb in Turangi.
Excuse.
So that's a wee way away from Taupo.
It's an hour's drive. It's not too much.
Yeah.
Well, it's an hour's drive when State Highway 1's open around that side of the lake. When you get a logging truck tip over on State Highway 1 and you have to go around the western side of the lake, it takes a couple of hours to get there.
If you went from where you live, you're only going to be probably another 45 minutes longer.
From where I live?
Yeah, isn't it only about an hour and a half to Taupo from there?
No.
Is it 2 hours?
4 or 5 hours, mate.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, true. You fucking... Yeah, sorry, I thought you were somewhere else.
He's got to circumnavigate a mountain a few times before he gets to Taupo.
Yeah, there's quite a few mountains now that I think about it.
Yeah, there's a little bit in the way. To be fair, it's not too far as the crow flies. There's just no real direct road. The Forgotten World Highway is the closest thing to being able to take a direct road, but that's so windy it's actually quicker to go the long way around. Anyway,
yes.
we digress. That is the end of our Thursday night stream. We haven't got anyone wanting to come and talk to us tonight. Tuesday night stream, thank you, Corey. Oh, see, I'm so used to just running Thursdays. That's the end of our Tuesday night stream. V8s at Bathurst. We saw some great racing there, great battles. Big thanks to Extreme Auto Protection for sponsoring this week's racing. Big thanks to SimLab and Allports for sponsoring the V8s. And of course, you can get 10% off SimLab products at Allports if you go to allports.nz and enter the discount code at checkout. Hopefully Corey can remember what that is, because I can't quite recall it.
SimLab NZ.
There we go, SimLab NZ at checkout at all ports and get 10% off SimLab products there. So support the people that support us. Thanks Corey and Doug for joining me tonight.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for stepping in and running tonight's stream, and I will gladly take the tiller and steerer and put up a good Thursday night stream on your behalf while you're away doing things in, did you say Turingi?
So you'll be all set up at 7:30, Douglas.
Sorry?
No, we won't.
Yes, you will be.
It only takes me 5 minutes to put it together.
And thanks, of course, everybody at home for tuning in as usual. We will see you all next time.